Hi everyone, it's me Al, this is Trans Youth Channel. It might be a Friday when you're watching it, and this week's topic is transgender fashion. Just kind of a side note, I'll be talking a little bit about designated male individuals, but most of my knowledge is for designated females, so it's going to mainly focus on that, and I'm sorry, but we can link you to some other videos down here that talks about a more feminine side, but I'm going to talk about the more masculine side because that is what I have had experience with. So let's get going. For people who want to appear masculine, there are some things that I would recommend. First would be getting a binder, getting a good one, not one of those $8 ones off of eBay that are basically just like netting in a bra shape. If it doesn't stretch, you don't want it. Another thing, do not ace bandage your chest. Don't do that. It's dangerous. You break ribs that way. Good places to get binders are Underworks or Trans Lesbo, something like that. Individual non-brand sites that make their own binders that you can buy. There are free transgender binder exchanges that you can find on the internet and on Tumblr, though they usually have a long waiting list. Make sure to measure yourself correctly. Most sites has a measurement option that you can kind of check out, and that's pretty much it for binders. You can find a ton of information on them because that is pretty much the number one thing that people get, the first thing that people get. Second thing would be good makeup. I know that kind of sounds weird, but you're really going to want a either darker than your skin tone foundation, I would go with a liquid foundation, or a matte bronzer. Not anything with sparkles in it because that does not work. And you are going to want to kind of get the outside of your nose if you have a smaller nose or a more effeminate nose, because it enhances it a little bit. Underneath your eyes is pretty much the number one place I suggest doing it, because pretty much just after you put a little bit on like the bags of your eyes, you look more masculine. I don't really know why. It kind of makes your eyes look smaller, so that's good. A little bit on the cheekbones. I haven't personally had much luck with that part, but another place I would suggest would be to outline the jawline. That's always good. Really, you could pretty much just look for contouring male makeup or costume male makeup and maybe tone that down a little bit. There are also things you can get to kind of make yourself look more masculine, just kind of in a vague sense that nobody's really going to notice. Like you have STPs and packers. Packers are essentially things that make you look like you have a bulge in the front of your pants. Those are pretty cool. STP is short for stand to pee. So if you are a person who likes to use the masculine bathroom and you would like to stand up in the stall or use the urinal, you can buy an STP. They come in varying realistic senses. You can get some that are like pretty realistic, and then you can get some that are basically like a tube. Those are pretty cool. Some STPs also double as a packer. Those are pretty rad. Just make sure you keep those clean because you are urinating in them. There's also clothing, which I'm sure somebody else has talked about, and I would just like to harp a little about on my preference of clothing, or how I view clothing. I do not believe clothing has a gender. I don't think clothing should have a gender. It's unnecessary because the way you present yourself does not always equal your gender. I usually present myself as fairly feminine. I know in all my videos I'm pretty much wearing a tank top. And pretty much in real life I usually only wear a tank top and a sports bra and like cargo shorts. But if I'm being fancy, I will wear a dress or a skirt or thigh-high stockings or high heels, and that's cool. I don't identify as female, but I can totally wear a dress because dresses are really cute. I do not identify as male either, but I have a binder that I probably wear about 3 days out of the week. And a ton of cargo shorts and dude pants and more t-shirts than I could probably even count. Gender does not equal clothing. Clothing does not equal gender. They don't have to be connected at all. A lot of the times they are, so that's something you could think about. If you're just starting to try to present yourself as the gender you identify as, then you might want to go with a more stereotypical look, even if it's not your preference, because that might make you feel more comfortable. People might mistake you more, might gender you correctly more. And that's usually a good place to start when you're just starting out in transitioning. You can do whatever you want, but there are things to help you get started if you want to be presenting a certain way. Just follow what you think is right, what you are comfortable with, because that's really the only way you need to be dressing. There's no do's and don'ts of being comfortable with yourself. And that's all that really matters. That's it for me this week, guys. Be sure to check out our social media stuff and check out our other videos. See you guys again next week, and I hope you have a nice day.
This Friday's topic is transgender elderly. The honest truth is that a lot of LGBT plus senior citizens are treated awfully for being who they are in normal retirement homes. They're harassed by other residents or the staff and forced to hide who they are under the fear of being mistreated, which is something that I think a lot of people can identify with